Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's connected. Okay, good. So
Awesome.
we're
Thanks.
recording it. When I just a quick question, when I switched to the PowerPoint presentation, were you still able to see me or not anymore? Because I wasn't able to see any of you when I had the PowerPoint open.
You can adjust your screen to see us on the side, like a gallery view, I think it's called.
Okay. I appreciate that a lot. Let me put that up. PowerPoint and then share. Well, I don't think I can. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, good. I can see you.
Yeah.
And you see the PowerPoint. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about the ways of different ways of lead generating. We'll do some deep diving into different prospecting methods. We'll take action about a plan and so on and so on. So when it comes to, oh man, I can't click on this. Yeah, all right. So when it comes to lead generating, there's two ways you can do that. One's prospecting and one's marketing. Prospecting is an active form of lead generating. Again, you can, well, you can call people, you can go door knock, whereas marketing is more of a passive form of lead generating. Again, you can do ads. What would be an active, maybe name me some active ways of lead generating other than I just mentioned door knocking. What other ways could you guys use? How can you get in front of people?
Phone calls.
Yeah. Anything else?
You could do pop-bys and go see some of your past clients or, you know, friends and family.
Yeah, that's great. But first you need to have these past clients, right? So first
This is true.
Wow, it's a very good pop-bys. What else?
If I can say again, something that I've started doing since I got involved in this, doing more than normal, is making sure that everybody that I know, that I see in my daily routine, I try to work into the conversation casually that, you know, I'm really trying to build my real estate business. So I'm trying to take advantage of every contact I meet without being overbearing, I guess is what I'm saying. And I've started contacting my phone list of people, telling them the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's great because first of all, they know you personally, and yeah, they already probably like you as a person. Otherwise, you wouldn't know you'd be in touch with these people. So I think that the toughest way is to start with complete strangers. So why would we not reach out to people that we already know or that we've done business with? So you're doing the absolute right thing. In my case, I was kind of forced to start with strangers. I came here 8 years ago. I grew up in Switzerland, and I did not know a single person other than my wife and my family. And they happened to be in real estate as well. So if I got to know anybody, they were all realtors themselves, and they were not the greatest source of business for me, obviously. So I had to start with strangers. But yeah, I would encourage you to reach out to your sphere, because that's an easy first step. What else can we do? How can we meet clients? Because ultimately we need clients. We can't just, unless someone has 17 cousins they're all going to buy a house a year, then we need to meet other people. How do we meet them?
What about like social media?
Yeah, I love it. That's and we'll dig deeper into that, but that's become bigger and bigger source of
Vincent, you're breaking up.
Yeah, last one, I'll use my phone. I'll tether it. 'Cause I think I have like a billion of us, so it doesn't matter. Let me quickly that.
Apparently, this guy is really good at door knocking. That's what I've been hearing.
Oh
He went
yeah.
out in that snowstorm and he like door knocked 53 contacts on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I
and
heard
he's
about
the goat of door knocking apparently.
Commitment.
Yeah,
that. Seriously.
I found
He
it hard
did-
to shovel the snow, let alone door knock.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
He did make a good point about the fact that there's probably way more people at home
Yeah, that is a good point.
this time of the year. Like I can see it only being 23% normally during the daytime.
Yeah.
So take a shovel with you and, you know,
The offer to shovel if you give me
Yeah.
your contact.
listen, either I get to talk to you or I shovel your driveway for $10,
Yeah.
your sidewalk.
Either way, we're making a transaction today.
Yeah.
You never know where the business is coming from. I'm telling you, I had the weirdest angles, and as I said, as long as you're out there, it'll happen somehow. And I'm like a firm believer, what you put out in the universe, you'll get rewarded at some point. Okay, I apologize about the connection issues here. I think it should be better now. Let me know if I start cracking or something, just because I obviously can hear myself, and I appreciate it. All right, back to what we got here. Okay, so if we look at this graphic, prospecting and marketing, as I said, both create leads, both create contacts. Once you have these contacts, leads, doesn't really help to just have them somewhere in a database. You have to nurture them, or as they say, cultivate, right? So get the lead, nurture the lead, ultimately bring it to the point where they think of you when they're willing to do business. And it's not a quick, I don't think there's a shortcut. As I said, most of my business is last year, I think most of my business is listings. There's a few buyers, but it's about 70-80% listings. And out of, I think it was like 35 deals, I would say at least 25 to 30 were people that I met a year or two before that. You always run into someone that's willing to do business right away, and that's great, but it's the exception, I think. So again, and that might sound a bit frustrating when you're new in the business. You're like, well, if I just start right now, I don't want to wait 2 years until I sell my first house. So you have to just kind of digging for those people that are willing to do something with you. And again, some of your sphere are probably the easiest ones to get, but you don't have, unless some people might, but to really get to 15, 20, 25 deals a year, you need people that are maybe out of your sphere. So you got to find them somewhere. Next slide here, message and method. Let's talk about the message first. match your market, make an offer. I understand it the way is like offer them something, right? Offer them to keep in touch with them, offer them to send them listings, just engage them in some shape or form. The method again, it can be prospecting. So when I go out door knocking, I simply ask the people if they have any intentions to buy or sell a house. Mostly sell, because they already own one. So in order for them to buy one, they will probably sell a house as well. And it's a very straightforward question, and it's a numbers game. The more people you ask, the higher the chance you meet someone who wants to do business. And if they do want to do business, might be this year, might be next year, I asked them if they would allow me to keep in touch and keep them informed on the market. So that's my offer to them. And in return, they give me their contact info. So now I offer to provide some kind of service. They allow me to keep in touch, and from there on we go.
So
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Vincent, so some of these could be a short and sweet, maybe 5 minutes. You have a little chat and you get their information and you carry on.
Right.
So once
Absolutely.
you get, yeah.
So if you're cold calling or if you're door knocking, again, there's a really, really high chance that the person at the door or on the other end of the phone line doesn't want to do any business, because not everybody sells a house every year. Most people don't. Most people live in a house and have no intentions to sell. So don't get discouraged by all the no's you're getting. If I speak to about 25, 50 people, I might get one person only that's interested in doing something, right? That's why I say it's a numbers game. It's almost like panning for gold. The more sand you wash in, the higher the chance you're going to find a nugget there. So prospecting versus marketing. What do you guys think is more expensive?
Marketing.
Right. Prospecting doesn't cost you a lot. You need a phone line. That's basically it. And you can start calling people. Or you need a pair of shoes and maybe a few flyers or door knocking cards or something. And you'll go out and meet people at the door and ask them if they want to do business. So it's very, very cost effective. Whereas marketing it's a passive form of prospecting. It's hard to measure as well. So let's say you put all your eggs in a basket and you get yourself a billboard for $2,000 a month or something crazy. You never know. It's hard to measure, right? There are bigger teams out there that have billboards, bus signs, stuff like that, and I can see how people there's some kind of they recognize them, and they might be somewhere in their head. And when it comes to sell in 5 years, they call Joe Blow because they've seen his picture for 7 years at the same bus stop. But again, it's hard to measure. It's passive. It's long-term results, and it's very money intensive. Whereas prospecting, it's proactive. You get immediate results. You might call someone. They say, "Yeah, we're looking to sell." Wonderful. Would you be open to meet with me so I can show you what we do? And you might get that business right away. I think we answered why is it best to be prospecting based versus marketing enhanced. So prospecting based, marketing enhanced means you're out there actively and you have some kind of marketing on the side. So personally, I don't have a lot of marketing at all. I have no paper ads. I have one little bench, what a garbage board that somewhere in town here. That is all. But because I'm out there every day, and I'm at every door in Aurora at least 4 times a year, they recognize me. Sometimes they say, "Hey, you were just here like a few weeks ago." I see it on my sign. I was there 6 months ago. But because I'm back again and again and again, they just think they know me now. Next slide. Phone or face to face. Let's circle back again. Who's done some phone prospecting?
I
Has
have.
anybody done? Sorry, yeah, cold calling.
Yeah, I did cold calling, and I've just like called my sphere of influence and stuff as well.
So you called people that you knew and people you didn't know yet, right?
Yeah, I've just called around postal codes in Oak Ridges and Aurora.
Nice, I love that. Would you
Mhm.
mind sharing your script, or you want to pretend you're calling me?
Sure.
Hello.
Usually, hi, this is Sarah Bruni with Keller Williams. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I was just wondering if I could have a couple minutes of your time to give you a little market update on your area.
Sure. I heard the market's hot.
Yes, well, actually, in fact, 123 Anywhere Street around the corner from you just sold for X amount of dollars. And
How
then
much you said?
X amount of dollars.
Holy smokes, X amount. Wow.
I know, and it was
Crazy.
X amount of percentage
I know.
points above the listing price as well. So I was wondering if you were interested in buying or selling anytime soon in the near future.
Well, we weren't really thinking about it because we still have kids in school.
Yeah, no, totally understandable. You know what? If you'd like, I send out bi-weekly market updates if you want to stay informed. And I'd be happy to send those to you. What would be your preferred email address?
It's vincent.bongard@kw.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I will add you to that list. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, well, thanks for the call. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
It was good. You know what I like? You didn't even give me the chance to answer. You asked me if I wanted to be on your email updates, and then you just asked me for the email address. So that was very
Yeah.
good.
Thank
I
you.
like that. When you start, and I don't know how some of you might be in the business for longer already, or some might just started. I always say when it comes to your database, it's quality before quantity. But when you start, just try add as many people as you can. You want to keep, when I started in Toronto in like the Danforth region, and there were all these lovely old Greek ladies, and I chatted with them and talked about the islands where they're from and so on. And sometimes I added people just because they were nice to me. What happened is at some point my database got so big that I might as well just would have booked, like bought a phone book or something. They weren't leads. They were just people that were in the database for no reason. And that kind of clogged my database and harmed my follow-up. And I lost business because I didn't really focus on the quality, more on the quantity. But when you start, yeah, certainly add people, and anybody who's willing to share information, giving you the email, giving you the phone number, it's worth having them in there because that means they're at least a little bit interested, right? So very, very good. Anybody else is using the phone at this point?
I've been using it.
And are you cold calling, or
I just cold call, yeah.
And how long, if you might go on asking, how long are you in the business already?
I'm just a month in.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep calling. Keep calling. I love it that you're out there doing this and you've already door knocked. It's really what you have to do. Like, yeah, I I don't want to talk about myself all the time, but when I had no idea what real estate is, I can't. It doesn't exist back where I come from. I barely know anybody of my friends. I'm turning 40. None of my school friends have ever sold a house. They get the house from their parents and then they just all move on. There's barely any transactions. It's different. So I didn't even know what real estate is. And I had this idea of real estate maybe. And when I started, it was a hard landing. It was nothing like I thought it was. So yeah, you got to go out there and hustle and really build up that database, because when you're starting, you're not going to get past clients, because before you have past clients returning to you or referring you, you need these clients to begin with, right? I'd love to hear your script, Stevie.
Yeah,
If you don't
my
mind.
script is really simple. It's just a quick like, hi, my name is Steve. I work at so-and-so brokerage. Do you have anything I can help you with if your real estate needs? And then they'll say yes or no. And then if they say yes, I'll go. If no, I want like a high turnover. So I just go for a quick yes or no. So like, is there anything, I was wondering if I can help you with anything in real estate? And they like, no, okay, thanks. And then I go to the next call and then the next call. But some people I've gotten like, yeah, I'm actually interested, and then I can carry on the conversation. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Again, it's a numbers game. There's two approaches. One is really engaging them in a conversation and kind of building up just a little bit of trust while you have that conversation. And one's just yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Then you got a yes. That's when you got to go for it. Great. So phone or face to face. Again, I would never say one's better than the other. I would just say whatever you're more comfortable with. I personally never liked the phone just because English is not my first language, and I never felt really confident speaking it. So whereas when I'm door to door or face to face, or communication is 80% non-verbal, so I felt like I can add more to that and kind of make up for my lack of English, which obviously got a little bit better over the years. Circle prospecting. Oops, somehow that. Do you know what circle prospecting is? What it means?
Is it like if you talk about a house or something that was sold in the area and you try to
Right. Yeah.
leverage
You
it?
kind of pick an area and you kind of circle back there, right? So let's say you have a new listing, you kind of prospect around that listing. Hey, I'm Vincent. I work with Keller Williams Realty here in the area. I just wanted to let you know we listed this amazing house down on the 123 Main Street, and I was curious. Do you know anybody that might be looking to move into your neighborhood? Maybe you got family or friends. No, we don't know anybody. All right, great. How long have you been in this wonderful area? We're here for 8 years. 8 years already. Wow, your house must have doubled by now in price. If you were to move, where would you want to go to? Probably Barrie. Barrie, interesting, nice. Do you have family up there? Yeah, my mother lived there, and we might thinking of moving closer to her. When do you think you're going to make that move? Well, our kids are just in last year of high school, so we're thinking next year probably. Next year, amazing. Well, listen, would you allow me to keep in touch with you and keep you posted on the market? Yeah, sure. Why not? Great. What's your email address? What's your name? What's your carpet color? So it opens a conversation, right? You can do the exact same if you've sold a house. Hey, I'm Vincent with Keller Williams Realty here in the area. I just wanted to let you know we sold a house down the street and it had 16 offers. We had 120 showings in 1 week. Circle prospecting is amazing because it really gives you a reason to talk, something to talk about. Whereas just the blank cold calling is really just, I think people respond better to circle prospecting. So, and you can do it on the phone, you can do it door to door. If you do it door to door and you have it just sold, you can just you can get some door hangers or flyers that you can leave at the door. And it doesn't even have to be your own listing. Like if when you start, see what has sold and maybe check in with the agent from the office and say, hey, would you be cool if I just go around in the street and let people know about that sale? And yeah, I would be totally fine with that. Number 3, community outreach, charity work, volunteer work. I used to do a supper in a church once. Well, it wasn't just me, but I was helping once a month, and yeah, you get to know other people, and I think if you're involved in all kind of community settings, clubs and stuff, that's definitely a way to get business. It should, in my opinion, it shouldn't be your main motivation to join a cause or something. If you say I'm going to join 20 charities to get business from, I think it's the wrong approach, and you probably won't get it anyway. But if you have some interest, then good thing. Key relationships, again, corporations, builders bank, banks, investors. Yeah, there's a few more there. Deep dive into prospecting methods. So we kind of like did that already, so I don't want to like, well, I'm not 100% following the script here, but as we said, we got door knocking, we got agent to agent referrals, something we haven't really touched on yet, open houses, and social media.
Vincent, can I ask you a
yeah.
quick question?
Yeah, please.
When you're out doing your daily door knocking, do you leave everybody a card or leave them something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, good, very good question. I have a little door knocking card. It's a flyer. It's like a bookmark.
So even if they say no, you hand that to them, or do you?
Yes, I hand
that?
them the card first.
Right.
Because I want to have it. They might toss it, or maybe they'll leave it somewhere, look at it again. And if no one's home, I'll just I kind of fold it, leave it into the door handle.
Okay.
I mean, I'm out there anyway. Why wouldn't I leave something, right? And
That's kind of what I figured, and I was just curious what your choice was. Just the small
no,
card,
it makes total sense to leave something behind.
Yeah.
It's another reason why I like door knocking versus cold calling, because when you cold call, it's just a missed number on someone's phone. When you door knock, you can actually leave a physical piece of marketing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Open houses, again, when you're new in the business, I find open houses are a really good source for leads. It also builds your confidence. You learn how to speak to people. You learn what they care about, because the questions are always going to be the same. So when you're going to be the listing agent, or once you get your own listing, you know exactly kind of what to focus on. I asked the question before, but I think that was when I lost my internet connection. Who's done open houses? Nobody?
Yeah.
Like me. I think my last open house, I think, was 2 or 3 years ago. I never really liked doing them. Oh, Jackson, you've done open houses.
I have, yeah, it was quite the experience.
What happened?
We had to go with 2 agents, one to kind of block the door and control the amount of people that were coming in, and then one agent who was in the house so they could explain the property and answer any questions that people might have when they went in. But what I found actually was that because there was such a long lineup for the open houses that were coming in, we actually got more time to talk to the buyers about what they wanted and their possibilities in the future, because they were stuck with me for so long in the lineup. And we also, because of that, got their contact information on the COVID sign sheet, so we could always communicate with them if we had to in the end. So that was an interesting shift. I'm not sure if it was good or bad, but it certainly a shift.
Yeah, that's true. So you were the bouncer and you had more opportunity to talk with them while they were in the line. That's great. And yeah, because they are kind of, well, I always know before COVID, it was kind of awkward to ask them to leave their personal information. People were kind of like, yeah, they just put a fake name there or something. Whereas now they felt like they have to actually leave their information. And yeah, that's what you want. You want to have their information.
I had a good
Yeah.
open house. It's Leslie.
Hey,
Hi there. I had a good open house. When was it? Back, I guess, when we were allowed to do open house back in, I think it was July or August. And what happened was a lot of the agents weren't coming, weren't showing the property, but they sure were sending their clients to the property, which was no problem. Like, I welcomed everybody. And it ends up someone who had come through my open house, they ended up purchasing the property through their agent. I had no problem with that. I was very grateful for that to take place. So sometimes open house can be good for the seller, and sometimes it can be good, to pick up a buyer.
yeah. I mean, if you don't do an open house, you guaranteed 0 results. If you do an open house, you might get 0 results, but there's a higher chance you get some kind of results than without doing it. So I agree. And again, it's a good way to kind of learn. I find learn about buyers in general, to learn what do they care for, what's important to them. It's going to help you when you work with buyers, and it's going to help you when you are a listing agent. Agent to agent referrals. Does anybody have anything to say about that? Any experiences? I find that's a great way of business. I'm thinking of all my lead sources other than door knocking. That's probably my number two way to get business is referrals from other agents that are just too far out to serve our area. Has anybody gotten any referrals from agents so far in their career?
Can I assume there's some kind of list that, like, how would an agent contact you, or would they just contact the brokerage? You know what I mean? Like, how does that process work? Or is there somewhere you can put your name as an agent contact?
Yes, you definitely can. We'll talk more details about that. Like, there's a referral network on command, but I find there's so many agents in these electronic networks. Most of it is really just personal relationships. So it's been probably harder in the past 2 years, but whenever there are, I would say, Keller Williams events that might not just be within a brokerage, maybe just like that involve other offices, join them and create relationships. And
so assuming
yeah,
the valuable relationships would be agents in another territory that might send somebody to you, obviously.
Exactly.
Right.
And think about those agents yourself as well. Like, if you might think, let's say you have someone who wants to buy in Kingston, and it's maybe a bit too far for you. Yeah, don't just let them go there. Do your research and find out who's there. Maybe someone with Keller Williams, so there's a bit of a connection. Refer that person, and there's a good chance you'll get a referral back at some time. So it's give and take, but it's definitely worth building up these relationships. Yes, sorry, I don't see your name, but you were raising your hands, lady with the glasses. Oh, you're still on mute.
So you can hear me now?
I can hear you well, yes.
Perfect. So my name is Nilu. I have another experience. So in one of our multiple offer situation, one of the agents from our office, he lost it, but I know that he has a really serious buyer. So in the office, I find out that another agent from our office has a deal that is not gonna close. And he's looking for somebody to take over as a buyer. And I know this agent and I know that agent. I talked to the agent who has buyer that if you don't mind, I can connect you with somebody, but it's gonna be 50-50 commission. So he was okay with that. The commission was not that much. It's just $10,000. So that we share 5,000, 5,000.
That's good. I love it how you proactively were thinking outside. It's like, yeah, always be solution oriented, right? And
Yes.
okay, well, again, we've been talking about all these ways of prospecting already. So door knocking again, maybe I'll just give you an example how I'm doing it. I knock on about, I would say 150, average 150 doors a day. The formula is quite simple, and I track all my numbers every day. In 8 years now, I knocked on about 160, 170,000 doors. And if I break it all down to the results, it's basically you knock on 100 doors, you speak to about 25 people, and you should get one lead from that. A lead is someone, at this point, I'm adding people to the database that are either gonna sell this year or next year. If someone's 5 years out, and again, I'm back at everybody's store every 3-4 months, there's a good chance I'm going to meet that person at some point again, and maybe things change unless they have a very solid plan. If someone tells me that they'll be retired in 2024 and they'll move to Nova Scotia because they have a house there and they'll be selling, then it's definitely worth adding these people to your database and start nurturing them.
Vincent,
Yeah.
how do you like do the area you want to door knock? Like, how do you map it out? Do you like print out like an area and then do like mark on like a paper which address you're hitting up? Like, how do you keep track of it?
Yeah, so I have so my area is mostly just Aurora. I go into Newmarket sometimes, but that's more if I just had a listing there or if I sold something there. But it's basically Aurora only, and I break it down into 8 neighborhoods. They're all about the same size, and then they have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I start number 1. I mark every street that's been done. When I'm done, I go to number 2, mark the streets. When I'm done, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I start back at number 1. So if you want to, if anybody's looking to really dive into door knocking, I'm happy to sit together for half an hour and show you all the details and everything. So reach out anytime. Door knocking, the 4 steps: approach, act, ask, advance. So again, just basically just like you, Steve, my script's really short. I'm more based on numbers and the amount of people that I can meet in the 2-3 hours that I'm out. I could probably more emphasize on more of a quality-based conversation. Maybe that would give me another lead that I wouldn't get the other way around. But then again, I would reach less doors. So I don't know what the right way is. It works for me, and I like it that way. If you wouldn't mind, Steve, just to show you my script. Do you want to role play that quickly with me?
Sure.
Okay, so I don't have my card with me right now, but that's what I'll just knock at your door and you open the door.
Hi.
Oh, hey, I'm Vincent. I work with Keller Williams Realty here in town. I'm just curious if you got any plans to move or sell your house in the next 3 to 6 months.
I had just moved in here like last year.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome to the neighborhood. Where do you live before?
My parents' house is down the street.
Oh, it was a quick move, I assume.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, welcome to the neighborhood again, and I hope you get to enjoy your house many, many years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep my card if you know of anybody or if anything changes. So again, that's a no. I'm not even going to. There's no point for me to keep asking and go on. Like, this guy just moved in his house. Like, what am I going to do? As I said, the majority of people are not moving, and we have to accept that. We have to find the ones that are potentially maybe going to do something. So
Okay, now should I do the I'm gonna be moving?
well, give me some kind of opening. It doesn't have to.
Okay. Hi.
Hey, I'm Vincent. I work with Keller Williams Realty here in town. Just curious if you get any plans to move or sell your house in the near future.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to move soon. I'm just waiting for the market to change.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Where are you planning to move to?
I think Vaughn looks nice.
Vaughn. And when are you planning to do that?
I'm thinking more towards the summer.
Yeah. So when you say the market will change, are you hoping the prices to go down again, or are you hoping for them to go up further?
Yeah, I'm hoping for like the prices to go down a little bit.
Yeah. So you're looking to upsize, getting something bigger in Vaughn?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't just got married, so I want to, start a family. Need something a little
Nice.
bigger.
Wonderful. And how long have you lived here already?
About 25 years.
Oh, amazing. Wow, you must have seen quite some changes here in the neighborhood.
Oh, yes.
Ah, great. Well, listen, would you allow me to keep in touch with you?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. What's the best email address to reach you at?
Steve@kw.com.
And what's your phone number?
Blah, 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 blah. 400, blah, blah, blah.
So, yeah, that was nice. You have to, you gave me a quick yes, very early on, right?
Yeah.
I could have gone right into, hey, what's your email? You got to let them warm up a little bit. So that's why I kind of small talked a little bit.
Yeah, it helped.
Because you don't want to lose. I always compare to fishing. You got to bite. If you just start wheeling it right away, you lose your fish.
Yeah.
You gotta gently handle it. That's why I ask you how long you've been there, when you're planning, just a casual conversation. And then what I found a really powerful question, and I learned that the hard way, because I always said, when I identified a lead, I always said, hey, what I would love to do is add you to my list of preferred clients to keep in touch with you. People said, no, I don't want to be on the list. I don't want to be a client. There's a natural kind of defense mechanism because they don't know me. I'm a stranger at their door. Why would they share all their information? So what I ask now, and I found it way more effective, is, would you allow me to keep in touch with you? And then I just shut up. That's a hard question to say no to, because no one wants to not allow something, right? It would almost be considered rude if you ask someone, would you allow me, if you say no. So people usually say, yeah, sure, why not? And at this point, I already put my pen to paper and said, amazing, what's your best email address to reach out to? And while they're telling me their email address, while I'm still writing, I already asked them for the phone number. Because once people are talking and you keep asking questions, they don't stop or barely stop. So at this point, you can basically ask them anything. Once they open and start giving information, they give you everything. You don't need a lot, to be honest. I think if you have someone's email and someone's phone number, you're good. I don't even ask their names. Sometimes I do it out of courtesy, but I can go back home and look up their names on Geo Warehouse, right? So I usually ask a bit about the house. Maybe I said, how many? Is this a 4-bedroom home? No, it's three bedroom. Oh, yeah, nice. Is your basement finished? Yes, finished. Then I take notes. Okay, good. Sorry, I don't want to do this for too long. Agent to agent referrals. We spoke about. Yeah, as I said, I really think it's connecting with agents on social media, maybe going to events, and then start with giving referrals yourself to agents if you feel like, and if it helps you, because there's a good chance these referrals will be coming back. Like if I get a referral from an agent, I have an agent in Barrie who gave me a listing. I mean, if I have business, it's only natural for me to give her that business back. So Command referrals. So like, as I said, I don't know if you guys are all Command and how versed you are with it. Have you heard of Command or KW database? So there's an entire referral network in there. I gotta admit, I don't know too much about it, but I'm sure you can dig in and put yourself out there. Has anybody joined any of these online referral networks yet?
I haven't got into Command yet. I'm still getting my orientation tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, there's probably so many already in there. It's worth joining, but I think there's more value kind of keeping it local and more personal. But it doesn't hurt. Open houses, we talked about it quite a bit already. I don't think there's much more to add. Maybe one thing I would like to add is when you do an open house, I find that's again circle prospecting. So going around the neighborhood and invite people to the open house is a good way to generate leads, because I would say that the two kind of people that go to the open house are either people that are actually actively in the market, or people that might be in the market very soon and they just kind of want to see what other houses do, what other people do. So invite them and start building a relationship, because when you meet them at the door, you say, hey, I'm hosting an open house this afternoon. We would love to see some of the neighbors, and feel free to swing by. And then they come, you've already seen them, you already met them at the door. Hey, so happy you guys came by. And it's just, you already broke down that first barrier of contact. It's going to be way easier for you to engage them in a conversation. And if they are looking to do any kind of business, to potentially connect with them. So this one is talking about, it's more going into Command again, but if you use it or not, it doesn't really matter. I find it's the same. So prospecting, your goal is you need contacts, you need to get leads or contacts, whatever you want to call it. Then add tags. Again, if you work with a database, it probably helps to add tags like hot seller, hot buyer, warm seller, warm buyer, renter, whatever. So you can kind of focus. Let's say you want to cold call, or you want to call your database for sellers in this market right now. Yeah, you say, hey, I want to call my sellers and tell them how crazy the market is, right? So you can easily filter them and identify them. Add them to a smart plan. So once you guys dig into command, smart plans are pretty awesome. Is anybody using smart plans already? So what it basically is, it's kind of a market snapshot, and it goes out every 2 weeks, but you can probably change that to monthly or something. And it just sends an email to your lead with kind of the neighborhood that you picked for them. It could be a neighborhood where they want to buy, or it could be their own neighborhood where they live, and it just shows them what has sold, how many homes have sold, average price. So it gives them it does it all for you. You don't have to do it. You just have to hook the people up on a smart plan, and then they'll get your emails and probably think of you when it's time for them. Open houses, ways to, what ways can you think of to make your open house attractive? How can you add traffic to your open house?
People like food, right? You can get something that people like, bite-sized food, some kind of cool appetizers, incentives like a raffle or something.
Yeah, very good. Raffles,
Gift cards.
yeah.
If you sign up, get a gift card kind of thing.
Yeah. No, these are all great things. You can pair up with, let's say, a stager, and you can let people know that there's a stager on site, and if they have any questions or need some input for their own homes, he's going to be there to answer any questions, right? People go in, say, well, our living room is currently green. What color should we choose for it? It can be business for the stager as well. And again, you just add value. So pair up with a professional from another field, or even, I don't know, a handyman, just some, I think you can add value, and the person who's going to be there might get some business from it as well.
Would you,
Go on.
Vincent, would you do that if the open house you're doing has not been staged? Because I think that's an awesome idea. I like that. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, better if it has been staged, would you say?
Yeah.
Like having the stager there in this case.
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters. I mean, having the stager there and it's staged by that stager would be
Even better.
pretty cool, right? Because you can introduce her to the people. If they always comment, they always say something, right? They might say, "Oh, that's a nice dining room," and you can say, "Yeah, we actually staged that, and this is my stage is Sophie. We brought that table in," and you can engage them in the conversation, right? And I find I love staging houses. I don't always love the cost of it, but I love staging them and tell people that this is part of the service. So again, these are potential sellers that might come to your open house, and that you show them what you provide, what value you provide.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, because it gets a dialogue going, and that's to me is one of the most important things, right? Anyway, thank you.
Yes.
That's great.
And I think again, for the person who's going to be there, the stager or the handyman, this can be a good source of business for them as
Mhm.
well.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. Okay, social media. I love to hear from you guys a little bit. What are you using? What are you doing? So please share with me.
I've been using TikTok and Instagram, and pretty much is my two platforms.
Yeah.
I'm using like humor to like teach at the same time. Like trying to make real estate sound fun instead of boring and expensive all the time. That are ways that you could save. Like talk to like more first-time buyers and just get them interested in real estate. Like even friends I haven't spoken to a long time. It's just a good way for them to see, oh, this is what he's doing now, and maybe and they've been reaching out and asking questions. So it did kind of help, but no real bites yet. But I only started a month ago, so.
Yeah, I love that. Are you using these platforms in a different way?
Do strictly real estate, no, just strictly business, and some with some personal touches. Like I'll talk about my day or what I'm doing, but I try to keep it more real estate focused. But I also try to share my lifestyle so people get to know me as well.
Yeah, that's great. And I think really, I don't even know if people do websites anymore. To be
No,
honest.
not really.
I think social media is kind of where you create your brand, and I'd like to hear, is anybody having a business social media and a personal, or you guys just have one? Let me know what you're doing.
I have business and personal Instagram accounts just to kind of separate the two. But with my business
Mhm.
Instagram, I combine like real estate, but I also add in more lifestyle things as well. Like I really love to cook and I like to do like homemaking things. So I integrate a little bit of that, maybe add in a little bit of affordable home decor in the future, just like small little things people can do to improve their homes. And I also use LinkedIn, which isn't personal and business, but like it's just something else I do.
Yeah, okay, so you have the two separated, but you try to keep your business still a little bit personal as well, not strictly business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think, yeah, that's great. Anybody else? Does anybody use Twitter? Does Twitter even exist in Canada?
It does.
Yeah, I love, I don't know what the right way is. I personally would love to, I have a business Instagram, but it's absolutely boring. I basically just post just solds there, because I know people, when they get my door knocking card, they look me up, and then they see all the homes I sold and probably think, okay, this guy sounds a good amount of homes, so might be worth giving a call. My personal Instagram is way more entertaining, but then on the other hand, I don't really want all my clients on my personal Instagram, but I do. And going back to the agent referrals, and that's probably one. I have a lot of agents on my personal Instagram, and I often post when I'm out there door knocking. So between Oshawa and Hamilton, they just know me as the door knocker, and that's how they connect with me. And I'll show you this. Maybe I can. Today I did one when I was out there, and it was minus 20. Just put it on my story. Yeah, here. Hold on, maybe you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. That's me door knocking, and that's a thought bubble with a picture from when I was in Costa Rica. So anyway, yeah, I think I'd like to learn from you guys, or hear who else is either mixing business and personal, or separating it. Same with Facebook. I don't know. Do you guys have business Facebook pages, or is it just blended all in one now?
Facebook is mostly business and personal is separated.
So you have a personal Facebook and a business Facebook.
Yeah.
Does anybody not separate it and just have one account, one Instagram account, one Facebook account, and just, yeah, blends
I just
both?
have one.
Really?
Yeah, I would like to, I'm going to be setting up a business Facebook.
Mhm.
It's in the works right now, but yeah, for all these years, I've just used my one Facebook. And I've got
Yeah.
Instagram too, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm thinking of shutting down my business and then just have just one account. I think people are more and more just looking for realness and genuine, and yeah, probably have to tone down on my party pictures a little bit,
Yeah.
but I think they want to see who's your family, your kids, what are you doing on the weekend. There's 70,000 realtors on the Toronto Real Estate Board, and we all look the same, we all speak the same, we basically all do the same. I think there's no harm to just kind of stand out and become more of a real person, because ultimately, I think that's what who people want to work with. But I'm not saying one or the other is better. That's just me thinking out loud.
And I think a lot of people get business pages because it gives you like things for creating, like analytics to show you like who's viewing your page at what time and when are the peak hours, how many followers you have. So people usually get the business account because they want to see the numbers games. They like to be analytical. So that's another bonus of doing a business page rather than a personal page.
Right. That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Is there an expense for doing a business page?
No, like you mean for like Instagram and TikTok, no, it's usually it's all free, but you have to pay sometimes for advertisements. They'll ask you like, you want to boost an advertisement or like something like that or promote it. You sometimes have to you'll have to pay something, but you posting your own stuff is generally free.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is interesting. I don't know who came up with that number, but they say the 80-20 rule. So only 20% should be business and 80% should be personal. I guess this is based on just having one account, and probably makes sense. I don't know. Do you guys think that that's too much personal? Should it be 50-50?
If you can tie in your business with doing stuff that you do personally, like, you know, like getting ready for work or like cooking with your family, and you can tie in like things about real estate or anything like your business that you can make it relatable, that's where you can find like the mix of the two together. But I think 80% personal is a little too personal.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how personal you want to go, right? I think this is not, there's no, the lines can be blurry, and yeah, it's up to everybody else.
And if I can just say, I think posts are going to vary from post to post. If you had a big event happen in your life, you know, you can maybe go on a bit more about your personal experience, but, you know, some may be shorter, and, you know, your business end can be the same. If there's a big change in the market, maybe you emphasize that a little more, but otherwise it's just, I don't know. I think it's a flexible thing.
Yeah, it is. I think this is a very open topic where, and it's also up to everybody else. Well, how they want to do it, and in what way. And there's not necessarily a right or a wrong way. We deal with all kind of people, and there might be people that love it, that you have pictures from your vacations and everything. They're just like, I think, oh, it's the coolest guy ever. Whenever I sell my house, I want to list with that person. Or there's going to be people who think, well, this is way too much and unprofessional. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Do what you feel comfortable, because then that's who you are and that's how you're genuine. All right, take action, develop your plan. this is interesting. This shows where the average millionaire real estate agent is an agent that does 1 million in commission a year. So they do a good amount of business to reach that level. And it shows that the average millionaire real estate agent gets most of their business from their top 2 lead sources, and 90% of their total business from their top 5 lead sources. So yeah, that means if your top lead source is cold calling and your second one is referrals, that means you get basically all your business from that, and then you might have some business from open houses. Maybe you got some kind of marketing out there, and that's pretty much it. I think that makes sense. And although you should probably kind of try to cover as many bases as possible, you should focus on what you're good at and what you enjoy doing. If you hate cold calling, don't try to make it work for you. That's the beauty about the real estate business. There's so many ways to create business and get leads and clients from. Do what you like, because if you like it, you'll be naturally good at it. I know many people who would never go out and knock on people's doors, and they probably wouldn't be great at it. I love doing it, and that's why it works for me. I'm terrible on the phone. I'm like, I don't even do it anymore. So now turn to your page again. I don't know if you have to. Do you have this? The Ignite Elements 1 prospecting. Do you have that in front of you? We'll do a little exercise here. You don't have it? If no one has it, well, we don't do the exercise. We'll just skip it. I mean, what it does, you can do this as an exercise maybe after. I don't know if you can see it. You put up a list with all kind of prospecting methods: door knocking, calls to spheres, referrals, open houses, social media, and then you prioritize them. Which one is your top, what you like doing best, and then at the end you pick the top 5, and especially the top 2, and you try to focus on that, or start on that. If I can hear from maybe like 5 people, what's your favorite? I'm just curious myself. What's your favorite way of prospecting? Steve, you said cold calling.
No, I like door knocking.
Door knocking.
I was just doing cold calling during Omicron.
How about you, Jim? What do you like?
Door knocking, and at this point, I'm still I'm calling all my contacts that I've got, which I found I have way more than I thought, and so it can be more of a personal conversation, and always ending up leaning into the fact that I'd appreciate it if they sent their business my way if they were considering doing something like that.
Contacts, people that you.
Yeah, like basically I'm going through my phone list, and there's people that have worked for me, people that, I've got a lot of friends. I've been involved in the film business for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got, I do have quite a few contacts out there. So I'm working through them and trying to reconnect and talk to as many people as I can. And so far, I've actually picked up a potential listing on the weekend. Like, we haven't done it yet, but he's going to sell his house. So that call paid off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing. Sarah, what about you?
Besides cold calling, I've been reconnecting with a lot of people from like university and high school, which has been kind of interesting. But honestly, really helpful because I mean, everyone my age is like at the age where they're looking to move out, whether that's renting or something else. Um, and I'm also really lucky that my dad, he works in insurance, my mom is in law, and so they have a lot of contacts that they're just like sending my way to reach out to. So getting it from every angle right now. Lots of chatting, verbally, that is.
Nicole, what's your way of prospecting?
Yeah, so I've been reaching out to my sphere as well, but I think I'm going to really like door knocking once we get through the thick of winter. Yeah, I think I'll really shine there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody mentions like two things. No one said, "Oh yeah, I love cold calling, and I also do open house. And then I really like volunteering, and I also call my sphere." You see how basically you guys are already focusing on one or two things, and you're doing the right thing. As I said, as long as you enjoy it, you'll be good at it, and as long as you do it consistently, it'll work out for you. So find that one or two things that you really, because I expect you guys are planning to do this for a few years. No one gets their license and said, yeah, I'm going to do it for 9 months and then I'm going to find another job. I expect you guys want to stay in the business for a good while. And I don't know if that number is still accurate, but the hard truth is, I think 80% leave the business in the first 2 years. And I don't want to discourage you guys at all. I think you're doing the right thing by joining this Ignite program. That I did that myself as well, and it helps you to really get started and become comfortable with things that might seem uncomfortable in the beginning. So I have no doubt you guys gonna last and you're gonna do great. But find your thing, find what you really enjoy doing, and you will be good at it. You just have to do it every day. There's no way around. I'm gonna keep, sorry, my PowerPoint is frozen here. Just trying to go to the next slide. Oh, here we go. So since we skipped some of the activities, we're pretty much, we're done soon. So I want to talk a little bit about your ahas, and then I also want to open at the end maybe for 5 minutes to talk for some Q&As, and yeah, maybe you guys have any questions, need any tips or anything. I'll leave this as well. Have you guys following the 10 contacts a day, 10 conversation, handwritten notes, and these things? You've done that. Handwritten notes, but huh?
I say trying my best.
Good.
Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. That's what you find.
10 contacts. What's the hardest of what's the hardest of these four for you?
That's great.
The preview the homes.
Yeah, I can see how this is pretty time consuming. What did you say, Jim? What do you find the hardest?
Well, asking further information for people I don't know. Like,
So
I'm literally talking to everybody now. The Tim Hortons girl that I've known, all those people that I see, I go, hey, yeah. And we were talking about this the other day, that I'll kind of go, yeah, I was in a real estate seminar, this morning, and but I just try to work it in casually without being too ridiculous, without just coming out and saying, hey, are you thinking of selling? And then I try to dovetail it into a conversation. But So I tend to be, it's funny, I love talking to people, but I think my biggest downfall is asking for, the contact information. When I feel comfortable, I can do it. If I don't feel comfortable, I feel awkward.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%. Anybody else struggles with asking people for contact information? I never felt comfortable, honestly. Like, I've been terrified. As I said, where I come from, it's a very private country. No, I don't think when I lived, I can't remember a single person that ever knocked on our doors. It's considered very, very rude. At some point, I just didn't have any other opportunity anymore. I just had to, there were no options. I either gave up and stopped, or I was so uncomfortable that I was like, nothing can happen anymore. And kind of, yeah, started working out great. I think one approach with the right now, and it's been like this for years, everybody's talking about real estate. It became such a topic in the news everywhere. So it's very easy as a person that's in the business like you just kind of start talking about it and bring this up to people. And hey, look, even if you're not planning to sell right now or do anything, I just love to keep you posted because it's so everybody's talking about it, and I'd love to keep my finger on the pulse for you. I'm sending out a newsletter, by the way, by email, and you can always unsubscribe if you find it boring, but most people actually like it quite a bit. So would you mind if I add you to my list and just keep you posted once a month? And yeah, keep it casual. But I can see how adding 10 people a day is challenging, but that's why they make you do that.
I think, as you say, it's all about planting seeds. That's what we're doing. It's just, hopefully this is all going to come back to us, all those little conversations, and that's the upside.
It will. It's a very unpredictable business. The only thing I can guarantee you is if you consistently lead generate, you will get business. And it really comes from the weirdest angles. So I think this is already, so maybe let's talk 5-10 minutes a little bit about some of the ahas from today. Hope you learned something. Anything that stood out to you?
I actually like what you said about the mindset, like what you put out is what you'll get back. So like if you go out there with good intentions and you're putting your best foot forward, you're gonna get some kind of compensation in the back. You just can't go out thinking, the first 10 doors I didn't get an answer or I got a rude call, it's gonna defeat you. If you think like that, then yeah, you're gonna get defeated. But if you go with like, that's okay, the other house will say yes. All I need is a yes. All I need is one yes. And if you keep telling yourself that, you're gonna just push through the adversity. And I think it's just mindset. You just have to have a good mindset.
Yeah, I think if you go out with gratitude that you're even able to do that, that helps a lot already. You're able to see. You're not blind. You're able to actually do this work. You're able to write a card. You're able to preview a house. You're able to walk. So you're able to go door to door. You're able to speak. Think about someone who doesn't have these abilities for whatever reason. They would give everything to be able to talk for a day. So if you go out with gratitude and if you just appreciate that you physically are able to even do this work, and then that helps you. That like, again, I don't love my job every day. There's days where I hate it. And I don't want to be out there every day, especially if it's -20. I don't really want to be there 3 hours in the cold or in the summer when I'm soaking wet. But the fact that I'm able to walk and able to talk to people, I mean, what would someone give that doesn't have that opportunity? What would someone give to be out in -20, stomping through snow that can't walk? If you keep that in mind and go out and be grateful to have this opportunity, then I think your work is gonna get easier. And always come from contribution. Try to add value, give people something. Especially when it comes to prospecting, you know, a lot of prospecting is cold calling, and people don't invite you to call them. People don't invite you to be on their porch. So respect that it's not them asking you to give them something. It's you there to offer them something. So always try to offer them something. And don't be upset if they don't want it, what you're offering them. They didn't ask you to show up. Yeah, anything else that you guys, any other ahas, or maybe a question you guys have?
I know I mentioned it before, sorry. The open house thing, I just think that's such an awesome idea, the bringing in other people to give information to people coming in, as you said it. That just resonated with me as a fantastic idea. You know,
Yeah.
a stager, a renovator, just to say, hey, we got people here if you got questions about stuff in your own homes. Just what a great way to get conversations going.
What I've seen with other agents also, and I didn't mention that, is a mortgage broker. I mean, that's a great source of business for a mortgage broker. And it's a great added value for someone who might just start looking to have a first conversation. How does it, like the simple things, how much money do I have to put down? How does it work? What do you think, what are the rates, right? So yeah, mortgage broker could be someone that might be very interested in actually showing up. I've had mortgage broker giving me some kind of worksheets based on the house price that I just left out for people to grab, right? It says the house is worth, I don't know, that was probably 5 years ago, 750. Now it will probably be 1.5 million. If you have to put 20% down, that would be your down payment. This would be your mortgage, given the current rates. So yeah. Anything else?
Vincent, I just think it's incredible that you shared this much of your time with us. I appreciated, I've heard you speak many times, and I always learn something new. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you.
And I appreciate that very last thing you said about the gratitude. That really touched me. So thank you so, so much.
Well, you're welcome. It helps me a lot. It really helps me. I used to be someone, I still sometimes are, that complains a lot. But again, if you put things in perspective, it helps you. Even on the business side, you're not always going to be successful, and the deals are not always going to be smooth, and it's not always going to work out. But sometimes putting things in perspective is going to just help you move into the right direction, right? Yeah, anybody else has any questions, anything, or we can wrap up here. If not, I wish you.
I guess actually a question I was thinking about earlier. It's obvious now, clothing. If you are in the winter, we know what we're wearing. You got to be warm. If you're door knocking on a nice day, how dressed up are you? Are you?
Yeah, great question.
You know what I mean? Because you obviously want to have a nice appearance, but you need to wear a suit. Are you business casual? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've been doing this a while.
It's a good question. That's probably why I love winter so much, because I literally have I've had 5 layers on today, and No,
I understand if you're in a ski jacket and a toque, right? But in the summer,
yeah, I don't wear shorts. I think that's a bit too casual. So I wear light dress pants, you could call it. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
I kind of have like a dress pant look, and then a shirt, casual shirt. Well,
like maybe something like a nice golf shirt type thing?
yeah,
Or would you
something
wear
like that, a golf shirt or a long sleeve. You can put the sleeves back or a short sleeve.
okay.
I wear again, when I door knock 3 hours, that's approximately 10 kilometers of walking. So I don't wear dress shoes. I wear, they're called Sperry. It's kind of a boat shoe, like an old man shoe. But it's comfortable.
That'll work for me then.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I find the most important thing you wear is your attitude and your smile and your body language.
I agree 100% on that, and just
what
kind of
matters.
wondering what's worked for you, and that's kind of what I figured, but thank you.
Good. Okay, well, thanks for joining and staying on. And I really think it's amazing you guys are doing this. I know it's not easy, but guess what? The business isn't easy. It's a very hard business, and the more you invest in yourself by joining these programs and by educating yourself, by reaching out to other people that's been doing this for more, the easier it will get for you. So hang in there, and I congratulate you guys to your start here, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vincent.
Thank you,
That's
Vincent.
great.
Thank you.